I'm about to shoot an audition. If you guys can see my blue screen. But I also figured, let's shoot a video because I've been doing stuff this week. So this is also a Self-Love Saturday video. Whoop, whoop. I'm having a splendid hair day. I got a really great question a couple videos ago. You guys know I'm gonna slowly but surely answer these questions. This question is about how to pivot creatively or into a creative career within your 30s, or I'd even say late 20s, because sometimes just kind of feeling like as you get older and you want to creatively pivot, how do you do it? And also, how do you kind of get over imposters syndrome? So I went to a really great event this week. It was an It Girls brunch. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I started by getting my makeup done with my girl Juanice, who is my go-to makeup artist. And I'm obsessed with getting my makeup done by her. I just chat the entire time. I swear to God, I just talk the entire time.
I also want to help here.
And being in this room, not only did I feel really grateful and feel very happy that I got the opportunity to be there, but I also kept thinking about the years prior in my life when, if I had had an opportunity like this, how I would have felt maybe inadequate, not enough. Was I as famous or as popular as any of the people in this room? I would have essentially had imposter syndrome. And here I was, many years later, much more healed, much more evolved and confident, and being in this room, and I didn't feel like that, but I could think back to the woman I once was when I did feel like that. The version of me that didn't really know how to find her path, but was trying her best. I think about those days a lot, and what imposter syndrome even is, why it even comes up. What is this thing that makes you start to feel like I'm not enough, or I don't have enough, or I'm not as evolved as this person or that person, or any of that kind of stuff. It's a very silly and strange thing that kind of comes over us. But if there's one thing that I know, is that it's not real. It's like a lie that your brain tells you, and somehow you believe it. Like, what? Can you think about that? Like, really process it? That you are sometimes entering spaces and out of nowhere, your nerves create a whole story to make you feel worse about yourself, ultimately hoping that you will turn around and walk out of the room. It's the devil. There's no other way to describe it. Because why else would that be happening? The act of being comfortable with pivoting is like a really amazing skill, and something that we should all develop, because we technically have to pivot all day and we don't really think about it. You know, like maybe you're driving somewhere and there's traffic, but you really need to get somewhere. Like, you may decide, I'm gonna pivot this route. I'm gonna like take a side street, I'm gonna go down here, I'm gonna turn around, whatever I'm gonna do, but I'm going to pivot. So we're very comfortable with pivoting, but a lot of people are not necessarily comfortable with pivoting when it comes to career or wants or lifestyle or dreams or goals. Like, just things that they're like, this will ultimately make me happier, this will make me more well-rounded, this will make me more interesting, whatever it may be. That idea of a pivot scares the shit out of people. I actually think I'm a queen of pivoting. I look at my pivot skills as having a really clear idea as to what it is that I want, but sometimes choosing a path and taking that path and going as best as I can on that path, but then out of nowhere I see a traffic block. I look at it just like driving, and I think to myself, wait a second, how do I get around this thing? So I unfortunately had to take a pause from recording my Self-Love Saturday video to actually do my audition, because the deadline was coming really close. Food break, TV break. Ended up having to actually do my audition and not get to finish my video. But anyway, I say all this to say, that's why pivoting as a skill is important to me, because I think about it like this, that you're like, I'm after this one thing, and sometimes certain things happen and block it and all of these kinds of things, but that doesn't mean that I don't get to have this thing. I'm gonna put it simply to the example that I use often for people that are kind of frustrated in the acting industry. If you are pursuing an acting career, sometimes I like to ask my friends, like, what is it that's blocking you from being able to act? Ultimately, what is it that's hindering the experience of getting to act? Because that skill cannot be actually taken away from you. That pursuit cannot be taken away from you. But maybe you're not getting any auditions, or maybe you don't have a manager, or maybe you don't know anybody in the business, or maybe you don't know any writers that are just writing something right now. Maybe you just want to act on a stage and you don't know where to find your local theater or shows, or just what is the block? Ask yourself these things, because that's where we get to start talking about a pivot. If we're thinking about it in the terms of acting, it's not like I can't act, it's not like I'm not allowed, but maybe I've got to pivot around this direction that I'm going in, because maybe that's not really working. But that's how I see it often. It's like you're still pursuing this thing, and sometimes I'm gonna have to take a detour in order to get there. And that is okay, especially if it's for creative pursuits, in my opinion, because creative pursuits are so important. And the imposter syndrome of feeling like, oh, after a certain age, I'm not allowed to do this, that, or the other, that's imaginary. It's completely fake. It's a fake idea. And if anything, you have to ask yourself why you are putting this pressure on yourself, why you actually believe or think this thing, and does thinking this thing actually help you in any way? That's the long and short of it. Hopefully it makes some sense, but that's where I see these things. That's where I see these things. Anyway, let me know if you agree or what your thought process is on imposter syndrome and on pivoting, especially as you get older, in pursuit of creative ideas, of creative careers. Do you think about this? Just let me know in the comments. But anyway, happy Self-Love Saturday. Bye.